Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FTRL. And it is the Season 12 finale, and we have a driver's title up for grabs. Tonight we are bringing you the race from the Cathedral of Speed, that is Monza in Italy. And joining me on comms tonight, Mr. Blue Flag. Good evening, Si.
Evening, how are we?
I'm very well, yourself?
Not too bad. Not bored yet, so that's a plus.
Well, here we are then, Season 12 at its climax, and we've got an epic battle ahead for the driver's title. Two drivers in it, 7 points between them. Which way do you think this is gonna go? Do you think Danny? Do you think Bran?
It's one of those, isn't it? You'd say that the advantage is with Danny at the moment, although Bran's hit a rich vein of form the last couple of races, so yeah, I mean, so long as Danny finishes as the car behind Bran, then he's in the box seat. Bran's really got to go all out to win this, and hope Danny has a bit of a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Danny the last couple of races when Bran's, like you say, Bran's been in rich form, and Danny's kind of having to be fighting just to keep up with him, but somehow he's always managed to get there. We saw in Bahrain where Danny was ahead of Bran for a lot of the race, and then Danny had a moment, dropped back, he managed to catch up and kind of pass Bran. Obviously they had that incident on the last lap. Last week in Brazil he had a poor qualifying while Bran was on pole, and Bran just ran off into the distance while Danny, came through to P3 and P2 in no time at all, and then kind of in behind his teammate, and then obviously
Danny's early disconnect didn't help.
Still came back through to finish P2 though, so he's been doing everything he can do to minimise the damage where Bran's been maximising his performance, and like I say, it could go either way. I'm going to nail my flag to the colours of Danny. I think Danny's going to see this one through personally, but we shall see. So qualifying fortunately a bit low on numbers this last week, so sad to see. We've had great numbers all season, but down to just 13 this week, but I'm sure these 13 will provide us with a great race. Who do we fancy to get in the mix with the big two then tonight? I know we've seen like City Posh has been in very good form recently as well. Do you think he's obviously kind of got his podium eventually last week after the penalty removal?
He got that podium last week. You've got Lampron Viosti, who is normally up there. He's shown good pace since he's joined. Co-Andy could be a one to watch. As long as he keeps out of any major troubles, he could find himself in the mix. And you've got Panda as well, who he's normally got good pace about him.
So this could be a bit of a FTRL training track, couldn't it, really? The slipstream here is going to be key. I don't expect many people to, well, unless there's an incident at the start, anybody to break away. So we could be in for a very tactical battle here. Do we think the two title contenders' teammates are going to play a big part tonight? City Posh obviously has been very quick. Aspect has obviously won the race in Bahrain. Again, has been quick this season. Both willing to help their teammates.
Aspect is already playing a helping hand to Bran. He's been giving him slipstream on this opening quali run.
Bran coming around the final corner then. Let's see where he ends up. City Posh currently on pole. Bran dispossesses him with a 19 flats. So first blood to Bran. Like you say, Aspect dived into the pits in that lap as well, so giving his teammate the slipstream. Danny yet to come out on track.
Yeah, Aspect's been one this season not to really prioritise his qualifying. He tends to go for the alternate strategy. So I'd probably expect the same from him today. Like I say, I think he'll just help Bran around in quali. Certainly played a useful part so far.
Indeed, so Andy's a couple of the guys going on the alternate strategy, so he's gone out on the mediums, top 5 currently on the softs. Panda's gone out the hard tyre, interestingly. Zumpy on the lap, and then Renault, he's also on the hards. I can't really remember the last time we were here with season 10. Zumpy has a big wobble coming out of the second Lesmo on the curb. Do we need the hard tyres here, or do we expect these two to swap at least onto the medium? Is it a soft I think it's a soft medium strategy here, isn't it?
I remember this being a soft medium strat. I think the only way you'll need a hard tyre is if you have an early incident and choose to try and do that to the end.
Zombie coming around the parabolica, around the white line, drives for the line, dives into the pits. Set banners at lap then. And imagine with the track being very green at this stage, there's probably not a lot of point wasting a set of soft tyres. Obviously the times are likely to fall as we get closer to the end. Here comes Danny. So he's starting his first flying lap. Ferrari just coming out the pits alongside him, but he doesn't get in his way.
That's his teammate going through the chicane.
Indeed, so is City Posh playing the team game now as well. Just giving a bit far ahead to play the draft at the moment, but later in the lap, so coming out of the Scari, he could come in very handy.
Oh, that lap's in the bin.
Very wide there from Danny, so that's the first lap ruined.
Yeah, he got too much of that little sausage curb on the inside of the left, and it bounced him across onto the one for the right, and that in turn ricocheted him into the gravel trap on the exit. No, yeah, bit of a messy corner there for Danny.
Is he feeling the pressure, or is it just a sitting thing? I mean, those curbs are killer. You and I play Gran Turismo a lot. They're equally dangerous on that game as well, and an F1 car, which is obviously a lot lower to the ground and wings, is not really wanting to be riding those curbs so well.
Yeah, you've only got to be slightly off on one of those, and well, yeah, that's what happens, Danny. So.
Danny into the pits, he bailed out. Let's pick up his teammate, shall we? Currently holding P2. Comes out of the first chicane. Around Curva Grande. He is 22 thousandths up on his lap time at the moment. A bit better there, just clip the curb and onto the outside curb nicely there. So good one there from City Posh. There's the first Lesmo, a little bit wide on the exit of the first Lesmo. Second one a bit neat and tidier. Drives down towards Ascari. Got under the banking. Still up, only 4 thousandths though as he enters Ascari. Nice and tidy through there. Now it's straight run down to the parabolica, one corner to go. He's gone 6/10 down on Brand, so he might just improve his time, but I don't think he's going to trouble Brand at the moment, with this lap anyway. Sweep to the outside. Drives for the line. And he does improve. In fact, he found a lot of time in that last sector there. Gets down to a 19.1, so puts him just a tenth shy of Brand, but still P2. We've got Lampumba Yossi just coming out of Ascari. He's on a flying lap as well. Also just marginally up on his current time.
Hand has improved to a 20 flat on his first soft run.
Still a second off Brand's pace though, so a big gap there between the top two and the rest of the field at the moment. Here comes Lampumba Yossi. Does he find any time in the final sector? He does. Down to a 19.3. So 7/10 of a second between third and fourth at the moment. Coandi, he's also on the lap now on the softs into the second chicane. Through Scary down to the back straight. What can Andy do? Can he improve on his current 8th position? Just behind onto the podium at the moment. A little bit onto the green runoff from the outside of Parabolica. Nice and tidy though. And he improves to P4. 19.6, the top 4 under 1 minute 20. Now, Danny on the lap again. Can he get it hooked up this time, going into the chicane, which made the mistake on last time? Danny curve this time, but okay this time. Oh, in fact, he's on his outlap, isn't he? So, nope. Doesn't matter. Right, let's see who else is on flying laps next aspect. Looks like he's invalidated.
Brand's into the 18s.
Yeah, Brand dropping a further 10th off his time, just extends that gap to City Posh a little bit. Got Aaron now coming through. Ascari's a little bit wide in the middle part of it. Going P11. They come up in the chat cheering on his fellow Pink Panthers. And Aaron. P5 and P12 as Danny goes P4. So he wasn't a flying lap. Ooh. Aaron got on the grass there coming out of the down the start finish straight. That was weird. Still managed to improve to P9 despite his bizarre off. So lap time starting to tumble now. Danny's put himself in the mix, but Brand still holds the advantage. With 2 points for pole position. I'll make that gap ever so tight. So Brand continues to hold pole position for the moment. City Posh P2, Lampumba Yosti P3. Danny now sitting P4. Ahead of Co-Andy with the Nexus Cats. A very good qualifying from him so far. P6 ahead of Panda. And you've got the second Ferrari Cat alongside the second racing point of Aaron. Onto the podium is P10 ahead of Brutus in the Mercedes. Zumpy and Nexus Aspect yet to settle lap time. So he's had one invalidation, one lap just to set his teammate up for a flyer. And we're going to see Aspect come out again for the final 5 minutes. We've got Cat on an outlap and Zumpy, so we'll go on board with the ever exciting Cat. As he rounds Parabolica, starts to wind up for his first flying run on these tyres. Joining down into the first chicane on the brakes. Nice clipping the curve of the first two, a little bit wide on the exits, but gets the power down. Rounds Curva Grande. Coming up to the first splits. He is 87 thousandths up in the first sector. Nice and tidy through the second chicane. Into Lesmo 1. Curve on the exits. The second Lesmo. Nice and tidy from Cat. DRS opens here for the second section, the second DRS lap on the lap. The first one down the start finish straight. He's now 0.174 up into the Scaries. This is a quicker lap from Cat. On target to leapfrog Panda and possibly his teammate. He'll find a bit of extra time if he wants to get up to Co-Andy and Danny. He rounds the Parabolica, now drives for the line. Catamese currently P8, he moves up to P6, just the 10th shy of Andy, pops himself ahead of his teammate onto the third row. Solid effort there from Cat. We've got Zumpy on the lap, so let's pick up the Renault. Currently in the first of the Lesmos, and he's 2/10 up on his current time, so he's looking to make an improvement. Although he's got a big gap between himself and Brutus at the moment.
City Posh is on a lap as well. He's only been able to match his current best through sector 1.
So Zumpy now nearly a second up. So he is now on target to get in amongst Brutus and onto the podium and fringes of the top 10. What can he do in the final sector? Drives down towards the Parabolica.
Oh, City Posh, he's dropped it at Ascari and he was purple through sector 2.
Oh, City Posh. So the other Red Bull crashes out. Zombie goes up to P9. We've got the yellow flags there with the end of the Ascari. Cats, there he is on the left hand side. Cats have got Panda just starting a lap, Aaron onto the podium, Brutus on to outlaps, so is Bran. Lampumbayosti's on a fly, Cat has finished his session. So we've got Panda's the first one, who's going to be setting a flying lap. This will be probably the final runs for everybody now.
Yeah, Danny's just started his.
Oh, Panda
no major dramas.
A little bit wide there through the second Lesmo. Going to cost him. Yeah, he's down by almost a quarter of a second. I don't think this lap's going to improve for Panda. Oh, and he's lost it out of Ascari as well. Oh, and Lampumbayosti has to avoid the racing point in the middle of the track. Now, is that car going to stop everybody's runs behind him, or is he going to clear him? I wonder. Lampumbayosti drives for the line. Goes P2. So he dispossesses City Posh. Goes for 19 flat. Danny just coming through with Ascari now. Looks like he's backed out of it.
Yeah,
he's in 0 ERS.
He's backed out, he's winding up for another run.
Got 44 seconds, so he's got time to get round. Next as Cats crosses the line. Starting a flying run for him. Onto the podium, looks like he's got wing damage. He has indeed, so onto the podium's had an off somewhere. Brutus just coming down into the second chicane now. He's on. Oh, he's had a big wobble there into the wall. I don't think he's going to make it round either. So,
okay, the Haas slipstreaming game, I wouldn't say is a fair one.
And he just makes the line. Oh, has he made the line? No, he hasn't, to the look of it. We're on board with Danny. Not a fair one. What's happened? What have you seen? Sorry.
Aspect has cut the first two chicanes to get back ahead of Brown and give him extra toe.
Interesting. Indeed. Danny, meanwhile, when it comes to Ascari, he's 0.35 of a second up. This is going to leapfrog him up to P4 again. Cowandy's popped himself up into P4 with that last flying lap, so drop Danny down to the third row. Danny is responding, driving for the line. He's currently P5. He goes P2 into the 18s with an 18.9. Brand got down to an 18.7.
That's an impressive time from Danny, considering he's done that without a toe.
He has indeed. So Danny popped himself alongside his title rival, but Bran does take 2 points for pole position.
That's going to be a tasty run into turn one.
Indeed it is. So, title protagonists share the front row. We've got Zom predicting in the chat that the two Ferraris are going to come together in this race.
I wouldn't say it was totally out of the question.
So, for the final time this season, Bran Glover takes pole position for Haas. His title rival Danny alongside him on the front row. Lampumbayosti in the Toro Rosso is P3 alongside City Posh in the second of the Red Bulls, backing up his teammates. Cowandy starts P5 ahead of Aaron. sharing row 3, the admins together. Then we've got the Ferraris at their home Grand Prix, 7th and 8th, Cat and Cats. Panda and Zumpy round out the top 10, with those with a free choice of tyres behind them. Onto the podium, Brutus and Nexus Aspect rounds off the grid. So, for the final time this season, guys in the chats, guys and girls in the chats, who do we think is going to win? Who do we think is going to win the race, and who do we think is going to win the title? Coming to you then, Sight. What's the prediction for the podium?
I'm going to say Bren, Danny 1-2, and I think City Posh might sneak himself another podium.
So, that's your colours nailed to your flags. I'm going to go Danny for the win. Lampum Vyosti for P2 and Bran for P3. So let's see how those work out. Danny to take it in a blaze of glory. Got Mr. Richard Godfrey in the chat. He reckons Bran for the win. Mikey reckons Danny, Posh, Bran. So keep them coming, guys. Let's see how you think this is going to work out. Co-Andy and Aaron are very concerned. They've got the Ferraris behind them going into turn 1. As well they might be.
Panda and Zumping onto the podium have got a great seat to watch the carnage unfold in front of them.
Indeed. So let's move down the grid for the final time this season. Season 12. Bran Glover. Oh, Danny's left the session already. On the formation lap is probably the best time to do it. Fingers crossed he can get back in before the start of the race. So Bran on pole position for the final time this season. Danny, who just lagged out, hopefully he'll be back in before they get round to the grid. Starting P2, maybe City Posh can back the field up, giving him a bit of extra time. Lampum Vyosti, great form from him since he joined the FTRL roster. Currently P3 on the grid. Looking dangerous from there. City Posh in the second Red Bull, backing up his teammate on P4. Row 3 is P5, Co-Andy in the Williams and Aaron in the Racing Points. So all the admins together on row 3. Behind them it's the Ferrari pair of FTRL Cats and Nexus Cats, and probably as a pairing their best qualifying of the season. Grand Prix for Ferrari. Behind them Panda P9, who'll probably be disappointed he's not higher up. And like you say, he's got a prime position to watch the carnage in front of him unfold. Danny has rejoined the lobby, so that's positive. He should be back hopefully in time for the race start. And Zumpy rounds off the top 10 in the Renault, looking to finish the season with some points. And then on the free tyre choice, let's see who's gone for what. We've got onto the podium P11, he's going for the medium tyres. And then behind him Brutus and Aspect both starting on the softs, so just onto the podium going for the alternate strategy. Let's see if that works out. So the car's coming to the grid. Danny's not back in his car yet, well, he has rejoined the lobby. Hopefully by the time the race starts he'll be there. City Posh did back the field up a little bit there, trying to give his teammates some time to get back in his car. This is not what Danny needed. He's in the lobby. Can't see him in his car yet though. So here we go. Oh, he's back.
I think
he's back.
Is he back just in time?
Just in time. 4 lights, 5 lights, and the Italian Grand Prix is go. It's a poor start from City Posh. Good start from Bran. Aaron on the attack already. Aaron's had a flyer. He's up. He's going to be P3, I think, by the time. Andy as well up to P3. Lampum Vyosti's gone backwards. He's down to 6th. Jumped by Cat, who's up to 5th already. To the second row, and an absolute shocker there. 3rd and 4th are down to 6th and 7th.
Real into the second chicane.
Bran defending already. That's going to compromise his exit. He's got away with it. And Aaron and Cat side by side, was it? No, it's Lampum Vyosti and Cat side by side going into the first of the Lesmos. Lampum Vyosti trying to regain some of the ground he's lost. But after all that. Panda's had a shocking start again, down to P12. Brutus all the way to the back.
Viosti, I think, has wing damage.
Got a bit deep into the Ascari. That's going to give Danny a run. So top 3 just inching away at the moment a little bit. A little bit of a gap down to Aaron. And you've got Cat and City Posh. And Yosti, yeah, you say he's got wing damage on the left side, and he's now got Cats. Cats has just clipped him and got wing damage as well. Yosti bails out, so he's straight into the pits. And we've got a battle for the lead.
Cat side by side
as well. See Posh down the inside. He's back up to P5. Good move there, like you say, yep. Brand just holding on to the lead. Danny looking racy at this stage.
Got Pandering onto the podium side by side from Curva Grande.
Panda gets 1 place back up into the points. After a shocking start from him. Got the top 3, so top 2 just breaking away a little bit from Andy. Now as well.
Aspect's already up to P9 from P13 on the grid.
Mikey just popped up.
Zumpy looking at Cats.
And Viosti apparently got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well, I think. So, there's a track here where...
there he goes. Zumpy's round.
Oh no. Coming out of Ascari. It's a very tricky couple of corners on this game. Call out Zumpy on lap 2. Here we go again then. Brand in the lead. Danny not driving into the slipstream. Closing now though towards the end of the straight. Again looks to the outside. He's not looking to pass at this stage. I think he's just saving his ERS. That's his Brand actually. Brand's in 0 ERS. And is he trying to back the pack up? Because at the moment Danny's doing everything he needs to do.
I was going to say, as it is, Danny doesn't need to force any moves. He just needs to sit where he is.
So yeah, we're going to see a bit like a...
Needs the guys behind Danny to make some moves.
Are we going to see a situation like we did at, we did like F1 2016 when Hamilton and Rosberg were battling for the title? And obviously Hamilton needed Rosberg to finish further down, so we tried to back the pack up.
Danny does have a run, he's ahead.
So there we are, DRS is active, and Danny uses it to take the lead of the race. Now the battle commences. Now Brand's going to have to respond. Oh, and he's gone!
And he's gone.
Out of Ascari.
He's gone.
And he's gone, that's a wheel off. So Ascari claiming another victim. Are we going to get a safety car or a virtual safety car?
Looks like it's just going to be covered by a flag.
Well, that has definitely opened up the battle for the lead. City Posh meanwhile has got ahead of Aaron, so he's back up into P3. Here comes Bran, back to the lead, and takes it into turn 1. Goes a little bit deep though, going to compromise his exit. Danny's going to get a run around Curva Grande. But we've got the top 2 now clear by about 2 seconds over the chasing pack. So this is ideal for Danny because now he's not got any pressure from behind. He's got his teammate behind him as well now, which is the ideal rear gunner. Aaron behind him in P4.
All of the mishaps and mistakes that have happened in the opening few laps, Suspect's got himself up to P6.
So here comes Danny again into Ascari, up the inside, and retakes the lead of the race. It's a little bit deep. Onto it, Brian into his slipstream and down to Parabolica. Is he going to look to retake the lead? Jinx to the inside, but he's going to wait for the DRS.
Turn 1, use the DRS.
Again, the City Posh is closing that gap down as well. They're down to 1.1 seconds, so these two are not motoring.
Copy of the previous lap.
Yeah, Brian gets it done quite easily. He drops into the lead of the race. City Posh closing as well. top, we've got Aspect and Panda battling. Brutus up to P8. He's up 4. Aspect up 7. To the podium P9. He's up 2. And he's got Zumpy back where he started after his spin. Looks like he's got away without any damage though. And then Lampumbayosti and Katz, who both stopped after picking up wing damage, are down in 11th and 12th. Back on with the leaders. And again, Danny to the inside. And once again retakes the lead into Ascari. City Posh now down to 1.1 seconds behind, he's just out of DRS range. Bran into the slipstream on the run up the Parabolica
and
again.
Bran just eases off and sits behind Danny, waits for the detection point.
The City Posh is there now, he's within DRS range. So he's about to interject himself into this fight. So he defends the inside.
To the outside this time.
Sends him the long way, but the same net result. Bran takes the lead of the race. City Posh is right there now.
Has arrived on the steam.
So we now got 3 for the lead. We've had a poor exit on the first chicane, dropped a couple of tenths again, but still within slipstream and DRS range. Aaron has fallen away to the tune of 3 seconds off the back there, so he's currently out of vote. We've got Aspect and Katz side by side. Aspect gets it into the second chicane, and that was up to P5. So Aspect flying through. Like I said earlier on, he's had an interesting season in terms of qualifying, but his race pace has been absolutely fantastic.
There's Danny again, into Ascari.
Bran hangs on to it this time. Bran was very wide on the green stuff, that might have been a warning. So is it Danny's turn to get it into one spot?
In this situation,
you would think, based on how
does
he's
he just keep on watching brief, or does he?
I think if Danny can make it. Now Danny will get a slingshot here. Will City Posh follow him through? I don't think it's close enough. I don't think they're both going to get him. Oh, he's going to try. We're going to see a late move. So I go to the inside there, but Bran just covered it off. So Danny takes the lead. Now we've got 2 battle packs of 3. So you've got Danny, Bran and City Posh for the lead, and behind them Aaron has now got Nexus Aspect all over him. And Katz also within DRS range. Panda's just outside of DRS range at the moment in 7th, but he's on the fringes. And Brutus in a bit of a lonely race in P8, onto the podium in a lonely race in 9. Zumpy, Lampumbayosti and Katz all running on their own, so they'll be hoping for a safety car of some sort, bringing them back into the equation. Those who stopped, Nexus Katz has gone back onto the soft tyres, Lampumbayosti's gone onto the mediums. Here we go again. Now this could be interesting.
Bran didn't attempt the overtake into Ascari. He's just sat behind Danny and waited. He's going to go for it at turn 1, I would think.
Yeah, we'll leave him less susceptible of re-attack. Because I think he's now got to, like I say, he's got to watch out for City Posh behind. He's not close enough this time. Now is Danny going to hold it? He's going to. Oh, Bran with a late move to the inside. We're going to go side by side through the first chicane. A bit of wheel banging. That's okay. No, he's still overlapping on the outside. And we're going to see a Vettel and Alonso-esque pass into the second chicane. So he's going to keep his nose in. No, he's going to let Bran have it. Drops back into P2. Further back, Cat is now in P4. Aaron is P5. Panda's now P6 and Aspect, having been looking to go to P4, we're down to P7 again. I'm not quite sure what's happened between those 4. And that squabbling has let Brutus now also onto the tail. He's just outside of DRS range. We've got the Red Bulls running together, 2nd and 3rd. The Racing Points.
Slided from City Posh.
City Posh wide. Brand defends the inside, Danny to the outside. Down the back straight, he's going to take the lead. And Brand decides to drop in behind him.
DRS though.
Yes, indeed. Tactical battle at this stage of the race. Danny. Inside again, Brand's going to have to go around the long weight. City Posh just closing. Ireland's into the pits and picked up a speeding penalty. So it's just breaking points and the first to blink. Got out of that battle for P4. He's onto the medium tyres. Oh, Brand there just kicked a bit of dirt coming out of the second chicane. Holding it fine. If you just clip the gravel, it can very easily pull you in. Got away with that one. So further back then we've now got Cat, Panda and Aspect battling over 4th, 5th and 6th. Aaron is trying to do the undercut with no DRS. 5 seconds behind Lampon Boyosti, although he does have Nexus Cats for company, so I'm sure will please him. Back with the leaders. Continues to lead. Is Danny pitting? Danny and Brand both pit. City Posh going for the overcut. And will we see? Anybody else going to pick this one? Looks like Cat, Panda, Aspect will go through. Brutus goes through as well. And Danny has not jumped around the pits, so it's as you were. The yellow flag. Looks like Cats has had a moment out of Ascari. And he's picked up wing damage again. No, actually he's got his wing intact, so just a spin. He's on his way, Zumpy pitting. Goes onto the medium tyres. That'll be him to the end of the race. So, City Posh, current race leader. And has 22 seconds over Bran and Danny.
That's a much better run he's had for Ascari this time around. The last 2 or 3 laps he's looked quite sketchy.
Very ragged. He's opened that gap to 8.3 as well with a Cat. Oh, Danny. Oh, Brutus has crashed.
We've got full
He's got a safety car. So Brutus has crashed coming out of Ascari.
Just as City Posh comes into the pits.
That is definitely going to help City Posh. Is he going to take the lead here? The
Danny's lagged out again.
Oh, well, again, if there's any time to do it.
Just as he's got ahead of Bran.
This is saved by the safety car. So Brutus' season ends on a low note. Crashing over Ascari. And City Posh has retained the lead. No, in fact, Danny's jumped him. No, he hasn't. Alright, where is he? There he is. So City Posh has technically inherited the lead. The guy heading onto the podium who's running deep after starting on the mediums. He is our race leader. Everybody behind him has stopped. So Danny will need, hopefully, the safety car will be out for a couple of laps here just to allow him to get back into his car. Not what you need when you're fighting for a title at the final round. So, running order, here he's back into the lobby. So the running order as it stands then, onto the podium leads the race, but he has yet to make his pit stop. City Posh has just pitted as the safety car came out, and he is now P2, ahead of the 2 title rivals, Danny P3, Brown P4, Cat in P5. Now is he going to interject himself into this title battle? Because we know how racy he is. Will he be attacking Bran? Onto the podium, picked up a 5-second track limits warrant penalty. Onto the safety car, that's not ideal. Nexus Aspect is now P6. So So he and Cat have both leapfrogged the racing points. Panda and Aaron 7th and 8th. Zumpy is 9th. Lampon Viosti back into the points. P10 and Nexus Cats, who's pitted after his spin a lap previously. Got a new wing. He is P11, just outside the points, but he'll be back on the train shortly. Danny's back in his car as well, so good news for him, good news for the title battle. It just adds to the tension when you've got the man leading the championship continuously lagging out. Oh no, he's gone again. Oh, Danny.
The question is, how many invites has he got?
That's a good question. Can we invite him anymore? Danny needs an invite. Can we do invites?
Who's lobby host?
Panda. Oh, he's back in again. That's good. A safety car in this lap. Ramping up the tension. To the podium, getting ready to go. Danny's back in the lobby. He's not back in his car. There he is. He's back in his car. Just in the nick of time. His internet is not helping us. Why is Danny just gone? Is Danny just going for it on my screen?
Gone, yeah.
Clearly it was clearly he lagged out a little bit there when he's come back in. Now he knows where he is. But racing again then, so Danny now he knows where he is. He's got onto the podium defending. City Posh down the inside into one. All the contacts. Oh, City Posh out onto the podium. We've got across the chicane. Danny really takes the lead. City Posh drops into P2. Bran around the outside. Cat on the attack as well through Curva Grande. Bran's up into P2. City Posh is going deep. Oh, City Posh is going straight on. He's off the road. He's back in at P3 alongside Cat. So he kept his place. Must have missed his braking point there, trying to defend from Bran into the second chicane. A dramatic restart there, onto the podium, going wheel to wheel with City Posh into the first chicane. They both went straight over the curbs.
Oh, did they just lock wheels?
Oh.
Aspect into the podium as they were coming into Ascari. Aspect
sure.
Almost got turned across the front of.
That was three
Connor's
wide
car.
further back. We've got Aaron Lampon Viosti onto the podium into Parabolica. 3 wide, Lampon Viosti and Aaron just touch. Connor's starting to struggle on those tyres. He's gone from 1st to 9th in a lap.
It was a nightmare restart.
There comes the... Oh, now we're going 3 wide into the first chicane. Thinking about looking at the inside of Aaron. He's got Zumpy around the outside of him. And Zumpy takes P9. Connor will fight it though with Curva Grande. No, Zumpy's got the overtake done.
City Posh attacking Brent.
Around the outside again. Taking the position, but I think I'll give that back. And drops back in again. But this is helping Danny get away. He's now 2 seconds up the road. So Danny has bolted. And City Posh is the squabbling going on here. Is DRS reactivated? He's trying to go around the outside.
Next lap, I think.
Bran was deep into Scary. It's going to compromise his run down the straight.
See, Posh almost pushing him through Scary.
Cat keeping watching brief. Aspect trying to get up and help his teammates. City Posh to the inside of the Parabolica.
He was behind, so he's going to have to DRS.
Coming out of it side by side. He's dropped back into the slipstream. Danny with the fastest lap.
But he would have done if it was activated that lap. It's this lap.
Indeed, the City Posh to the outside. Bran defending for his life. She's going to go around the outside. Bran's going to try and run around the outside of the first chicane. He's held onto it, I think. Posh hasn't got the overlap anymore, so Bran ducked back in again. City Posh to the outside of Curva Grande behind them. Aspect and Cat now side by side. All wheel banging. Aspect down the inside into the second chicane. Oh, Bran's in the gravel!
That's Bran.
He's in the wall! Oh, he's got away with no damage. But he's down to P7. All that held up Cats, and he lost the place to Pandas. So Pandas up to P4.
Malcolm Viosti's getting in on the act.
As well, trying to... Panda not quite close enough. Panda's gone deep. Now Cat's got to run on him down the back straight. Here comes Lampun Viosti on Cat now down the inside. These two are friends. So there'll be respectful room given. And Bran now trying to buy back into this as he recovers after that huge moment coming out of the second chicane. He got onto the gravel, spat the car sideways. We're going to go 3 wide.
Here comes Bran.
Bran down the inside, he's got to make the moves. Lampun Viosti backs out of it.
Into one.
Oh, Cat across the nose of Lampun Viosti. But this is now looking very good for Danny. He's got 3 seconds in the lead. His teammate is in P2. Bran's teammate Aspect P3. Panda P4. Bran back up to P5. Right on Panda's tail, but he's bringing Cat, Lampun Viosti and Aaron with him. Oh, Aaron's in the gravel coming out of the second chicane. It's lost him some time. I'll drop out of DRS range of Lampun Viosti. I'm dropping back towards Zumpy. Onto the podium, having started at the safety car restart in P1 down to P11 off the back of the pack, and has to make a pit stop, so he'll need another retirement to score any points in the final round.
Big slide from Panda through Ascari. Showboating. There's a lot of people out there that don't really like it. It's just straights and chicanes, but it is throwing up a fantastic race.
Indeed. We're expecting the FTRL train. We've seen it.
Panda has Bran for company.
Indeed. Cat and Lampun Viosti together as well, just a little bit further back. City Posh has just broken the DRS window back to Aspect, so that will leave him. Question in the chat there: is the constructors won for Div 1? If it isn't already, Red Bull are doing everything they need to do to make sure, because they were top, and the first and the second will definitely see them home if they haven't already claimed the title.
Allow me to check it out and do some arithmetic.
Do that. Keep an eye on the action now. Viosti down the outside of Cat into Ascari. Uses the DRS and he's back up into P6. And Aspect is dropping back towards Panda and Bran. He'll help his teammate out where he can. Panda is not close enough for a move this time, unless it's going to be a late one into the first chicane. Now he thinks better of it. Getting very close attention, but behind him now, he'll be eager to get past.
mathematically it is still all to fight for, but Haas would need a 1-2.
Well, at the moment, Red Bull are doing what Haas need to do. Here comes Bran on Panda. He's got a good run on Curva Grande down the inside. And back up into P4. Well, he's got a bit deep.
Yeah. Haas would need a 1-2 with Red Bull not scoring a point.
Yeah, well, at the moment, that is not happening. In answer to your question, Ross, not yet, but it's looking very good for Red Bull.
It's as good as done.
So, now back up into P4 to tail of his teammate again. You've said it before in title battles, he's never had to come from behind before. Has that pressure just told? Slipstream down the back straight. Aspect pulls to the inside. Bran just sits in his slipstream for now. He's waiting for the DRS. With a very tight line around Parabolica. Here comes Bran and his teammate. Is Panda going to buy into this as well? Looks to the inside, but not this time. So Bran back up into P3. Can he close down on the other Red Bull? 1.7 seconds. He's going to have to do it without DRS. DRS down on 29% as well, so he's got to get a bit of charge back in. City Posh about the same. Zumpy and Aaron going side by side in the second chicane. Aaron up the inside. Now back up into P8. Cat just went off into the gravel there. Saw some dust being kicked up. He dropped off the back of Lampumba Yosti as well. So Lampumba Yosti is now bought on. He's trying to catch back onto the tail of Panda. Continues to chase the two Haas. And they are trying to chase down the Red Bulls, but Danny has a 2.7 second lead. Bran is 1.9 off the back of City Posh. There we go though, onto lap 20 of 27. Aspect in the slipstream, DRS is open. I do not expect him to
he has no intention of overtaking, he's just fully lifted out of that.
Yep, he's just going to sit there and play rear gunner. Sometimes Yosti gets a time penalty, but he's now onto the tail of this group. Zumpy down the inside of Aaron into the first chicane. Gets the overtake done. Aaron, big kick of oversteer as he gets on the power, coming out of the chicane. I'll just let Zumpy get away a little bit, so he won't be close enough for an attack into the second chicane this time. Wait for the DRS. Yosti now onto the battle for third, so we've got third, fourth, fifth and sixth together. Bran leading his teammate Panda. DRS wide open, but with Aspect getting off his teammate as well, it's the ideal defensive tool. Lampumba Yosti is now right on the tail of these three as well. He tries to get back on terms with these four. He's dropped 4.6 seconds off the back. They had a moment at the second chicane, I believe. DRS open, but everybody just fanned out a little bit, not quite close enough to each other. Further back, however. Aaron has DRS and will drive around the outside of Zumpy into turn 1. Nice and early. Zumpy come back at him now. He seems to have had a better drive out of the chicane. I saw Aaron get him coming out to Curva Grande a couple of laps ago. And we're going to see a repeat. So he's on the grass. Vettel Alonso moment there. Thinks better of it, drops back in behind the racing point. Forwards. Race lead is now 3. Oh, Aaron's gone. He's crashed coming out of the first Lesmo. He's in the wall. Tyre off, and that is the end of Aaron's race. And his battle with Zumpy ends prematurely.
Lampun Viosti's having a go at Panda to Parabolica. Pulls out.
He's going
to go for it to turn 1.
But the DRS from Aspect, who in turn will have it from Bran.
Lampun Viosti has a lot more ERS deployment than Panda does.
And he is gaining. Late move, looks at the inside. Maybe side by side, he'll be on the outside here. Is Panda going to squeeze him? Bit of a wobble under power. That will save Panda this time around. The squabbling is starting to see them drop off the back of the pair of Has in front of them. Lampun Viosti round the outside of Curva Grande. Hasn't quite got the overlap. He's going to stamp it in anyway. Panda nerfs him wide. Good hard racing between those two, but they have lost DRS to the pair of Has in front of them. Danny Lee now 3.1 seconds over his teammate. The gap back to Bran is 1.8. Really making any indentation at the moment. Danny has the fastest lap as well, I believe.
Does indeed.
So an extra point back. Panda is back within DRS rings. And does he have DRS? It's not open, so this leaves him vulnerable. Into 1, here comes Lampun Viosti. He's down the inside. Goes for the apex. Panda tries to hang on. Give each other a bit of room. Lampun Viosti gets it done this time. And back up into P5. And he will be cursing that poor start. And then wing damage he picks up on lap 1, but it's a good fight back there. The safety car brought it back into contention. So lead gap just coming down a little bit between the Red Bulls, 2.8 seconds now, but Danny managing the gap. Brown 2.1 seconds back. He's not closing on City Posh, which means he's not closing on Danny. Got his teammate in tow if they can get there, if there's a mistake ahead of them.
Into the podium's just nicked the fastest lap point.
Yes, indeed. So the real battle at the moment is Lampun Viosti and Panda. He's got Aspect behind his teammate, but he's not attacking. Push not close to his teammate at the moment. Panda with the DRS. Is he going to make a move into 1? He's closing. Late move to the inside. Thought about it. Kind of goes for it. And obviously held him off. I think he kind of got encouraged by the closing speed there at the end of the straight to have a look. I don't think he really wanted to go for it. Wasn't a oh, Brand's picked up a time penalty for cutting the chicane. The Brand is pushing on, but the penalty further dents his hopes of overhauling Danny. Still not able to close in on City Posh either. The Bull's managing this perfectly. Race leader on the end of lap 24. Oh, Lampun Viosti's in the wall. Coming out of Ascari. Just saw it in the background. He's very wide. He's into the wall. Virtual safety car. Cat there just very closely passing his friend's car there. Don't know if that was just a sort of a tongue out no moment as he goes past. And we went away to Lampun Viosti. Go on, sorry.
When I saw that flag came out, I thought it was Panda. Because his car looked very skittish through the Ascari chicane. I just thought that was him going, but alas, it was Lampron-Viosti.
Yeah, just caught him there in the background. Let's move to look at Danny's car. Just in the background, saw Lampron-Viosti go very, very far off the circuit. Unfortunately, too far to come back. He's into the wall and his season ends prematurely. But I think he's definitely impressed us since he joined. So I think he'll be a real asset next season to whoever he teams up with. Obviously, we'll go through some details of what to expect from season 13 shortly. But at the moment, that's kind of ended the only real battle we had on track as well. So Danny continues to lead from his teammate City Posh in lap 25 of 27, so we're about to start the penultimate lap. Bran has closed that gap in slightly now. It's 1.6 seconds to City Posh. Can't yet grab DRS before the end of the race, but it's not looking likely for Bran at this stage. Panda's closed back in on Aspect as well, who's just dropped off. His teammate's out of DRS range, so Panda can string together a couple of good corners. He might be able to haul himself back onto the tail of the hazard, though too much curb there at the first chicane. Bounces up. Down on the penultimate lap, City Posh has now picked up a penalty. So that might depend on how close Aspect is, denying him P2 unless he gets a shift on. So we'll just quickly run through season 13. Obviously this is the last race for Div 1 for season 12. Obviously we've got Div 2 tomorrow, and then we go into a short break before season 13 returns. We are going down to just one league for season 13. It will be a mixture of Div 1 and Div 2 drivers who are remaining. Unfortunately, we are losing some key drivers to FTRL this off season, so we'll be sad to see them go for the time being. Hopefully they will be back in the future though. More details obviously of season 13 will be coming, but we are mixing the two leagues together, and we will have a Div 1 and Div 2 within the same league next season for those who are left. Keep the eye on the socials for more details on that. Coming up the final lap then of season 12 for Div 1. Danny leads by 3.4 seconds. His teammate acting as rear gunner, but it's going to be teams and drivers titles for Red Bull as long as they both see it through to the end. Bran has put up a hell of a fight with that huge moment at the midpoint of the race. Coming out of that second chicane, we're into the wall. Drops him off the back, drops him away from Danny and City Posh. He had to fight back through to P3, but he's not been able to catch the Red Bulls. Looks like he's just going to come up short this time. Danny comes into Ascari for the final time. He can take it a little bit easy, doesn't need to push. Round Ascari for the final time. One more corner to go. He's weaving down the straight. He knows. City Posh weaving behind him as well. Danny round the parabolica for the final time. And the season 12 Div 1 champion is FTRL Danny. Wins the race. City Posh comes home P2. Bran jumps him on penalties. Oh, Aspects won the race. No, I think that's the penalties for Danny's car logging out. I'm very confused what's gone on here. Right. Much to pick apart here. Right, so according to the timing screen...
I'm looking at the race director. Danny doesn't have a single warning.
No, that'll be because he's lagged out. Right, so Danny has won this race. Aspect is P2. Panda is P3. Bran is P4. City Posh P5, as you were. Cat has come in P6. Sumpy P7. Next is Cats is P8, and onto the podium, the final finisher, and we'll pick up a couple of points. P9, including the fastest lap. He rounds off season 12 for Div 1. Of course, he took pole position all the way back in round 1 at Canada 12 weeks ago. So, well, the podium doesn't actually reflect the actual results. So Danny has won the race. The game has assigned him penalties for lagging out. Aspect is P2, Panda is P3. Celebrations commence for those three. Yeah, as you can see, Danny has finished 4/10 of a second down without a single penalty, so that's not quite true. So Danny wins the race from Aspect, from Panda. Penalties, or City Push had 3 penalties there, so I didn't realise he had quite so many. Brand's P4, City Push P5.
He got 2 of those on the same lap.
Dear me. Cat comes home P6 ahead of Zumpy, with Cat onto the podium rounding off the finishers for the points. Onto podium picking up the final fastest lap of this season as well. So starts with the pole, the most emphatic pole position of the season, I believe. He's referred to it in Canada, and having led the race, he comes home with fastest lap and the final points. So quickly go in and grab the podium finishers. Find where they are. And I'll invite Aaron as well, because I'm sure I want to say something to the guys. If you show online though, Aaron, thanks. I'm going to go all the way down here, fine, there we go. Right, so we will just wait for our podium finishers to join us. The guys with us. Just wait for our race winner and new champion to join us. And hopefully Mr. League owner will be with us as well. Here he is. So just waiting on the champ to hurry up and join us. And then we will get this party started. And here he is. So, gentlemen, congratulations on the podium finishes tonight. We'll come to you then, Danny, first and foremost. Saw it home in the most emphatic fashion possible. Congratulations on being season 12 champion.
Cheers, lads. I don't know how I managed to scoff that win. Brand was he was insane all race, and throughout the whole entire season he was insane. But yeah, I'm over the moon.
I say you definitely kept the ramping the pressure up with your internet tonight. Thankfully, it just about got away with
Oh
it,
my gosh.
lagging out on the safety car and on the formation lap. Not what you need when you've already got the pressure on you.
Yeah, that was horrible, but luckily it was at the two best moments it could possibly be. So like, maybe the odds were in my favour tonight, but I don't know. Yeah, need better internet, much better internet.
Definitely so. Just to talk us through your race then, for the bits you were in. What happened there on the safety car restart as well? You kind of set off like a scolded rat, and then did you realise that the race wasn't going?
I joined back. I got back in my car. My AI driver just floored it. He just went through the other cars, and I was just like, "What is going on?" So I tried to wait up for the others, and so I let Connor and City push through, and then they had their little off moment, and then I was in the lead, and I was like, "This is great."
Yeah, so you really scampered after that moment there. What was going through your mind the last couple of laps there? Were you just thinking, just get it home, take it easy? Obviously, you built yourself a nice buffer in the laps previous.
Yeah, I was like, take it easy, and then in the last few laps, I was like, I could lag out, and so I just proper belted it on the last like 2 or 3 laps, just in case I do lag out. But yeah, I didn't lag out, so all's good. I'm cracking, over the moon.
Indeed, I think it's a well-earned title. So your season's been, pretty spectacular. Obviously, I didn't have the best race in Canada to start off, but then P2 in Abu Dhabi. Then he went on that winning streak in Belgium, Suzuka, and Spain. Second Mexico and Baku. Bit of an off race in Hungary. Retired in Australia, obviously. Had a few issues there. Second in Bahrain. Second last time out. And a win to see off the season. That's one of your best seasons on F1?
Oh, by far the best season I've ever had in any league ever. I think Aaron said this time I just didn't drive like an absolute idiot, so I managed to like come home, get some points, and then I didn't bottle, so it was great.
Indeed. Well, a very worthy champion, and congratulations on the win for both the race and the title. Well done.
Cheers, boss.
Right, who actually finished second in that in the end? Aspect, wasn't it?
Aspect, yeah.
Right, so first of all, I just want to add my congratulations to Danny on a superb season and well-deserved title, and commiserations to Bran. But yeah, Aspect. P2, would you have thought that, given where you started on the grid tonight?
Well, I mean, to be honest, on my quali lap, the final straight, someone crashed, and I had my teammate right in front of me, so he had to move over, and obviously I sort of followed him, and since he was already going slowly because he was on the lap, I hit him, which basically cost me like a bit over a second, which means I probably could have got like 7th or 8th, so yeah, that wasn't favourable. But yeah, starting there, I didn't expect a podium, although after the safety car came out, I thought, well, it's possible now. I mean, I could see it this time, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kept an eye on you, because after I think 3 or 4 laps, you was already up into P8 or P9. And then a couple of laps later, you were P6 and on the back of the battle for P4. So there was clearly some pace in you tonight. So getting to the podium in the end, that race could have ended up being maybe a bit of a missed opportunity given qualifying, but a little bit of luck and you've got yourself up there.
I guess, yeah.
So, how would you rate your season? I mean, looking at the results, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. A couple of podiums, you had a win in there. How would you sum it up?
I'd say pretty good. Obviously, I think a few races could could have been better if I didn't have incidents. But yeah, overall, I mean, getting a win in Bahrain was great. Definitely didn't expect that, especially only leading the last lap, which was a bit more satisfying. But yeah, my season overall has been good, where I was the only one who could influence it. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, solid season, and as long as you're happy with your season's work, then that's all that matters. So yeah, well done, and best of luck for whatever's happening in the future.
Yeah, thanks.
And finally, we come to Mr. FTRL Panda himself, Will. Congratulations on a sneaks a podium there at the final round. How was that for you?
I genuinely have no idea why I'm on the podium. I mean, I crashed in qualifying. I drove pretty slowly throughout the entire race, and somehow ended up in third. But yeah, I mean, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I say you think you did what a lot of people managed not to do tonight, which was stay on the track and stay out of the walls when it mattered, anyway.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about how your race went, other than driving around slowly? Got some good battles in there. You had a good battle with Lampon Viosti going on until he unfortunately made a mistake towards the end there and crashed out of Ascari.
Yeah, we had some good battles going on. We had I think Bran for a bit, and he did me to turn 3. We had, is it Lampon Viosti or is it
Lampon Viosti, I think.
So is that confirmed now?
Yes.
Okay. Lampon Viosti. Anyway, yeah, there are some good battles. It's a shame he binned it. It was looking to be quite a good sort of last few laps, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the race anyway, regardless of how slowly I was driving for most of it.
So how's your season then been overall for you? Obviously had that win in Baku, a couple of podiums along the way as what would you score yourself out of 10 for season 12?
I think myself maybe a 6. I was quite good when I turned up. That was the issue I had.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, a couple of decent results in there, so a few podiums. I usually end up like maybe a win in Baku. I seem to only be able to win in Baku. So.
Well, you probably would have Bahrain if you hadn't gone out and got drunk the night before.
Precisely. But if Baku's on the calendar more, I'll win more wins. We'll just do a Baku calendar. That sounds like a great idea.
And then unless Connor hasn't released the calendar for season 13 yet, so it could be that. So put my money on FTRL Panda for season 13 champ now, shall I?
Baku, yes.
Baku. Oh, God, I'm dreading it if that's the case. I thought I had another question, but I think it's gone. Yeah, so it looks like you've still managed to claim a top 5 finish this season in the championship. You happy with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll take top 5. Might even sneak up to 4th after results tonight. So maybe that's where I finished last season. Is it last season? Hang on. What was last season?
Season 11.
Season 11. I can't remember. But 4's good. I'm happy with 4.
So yeah, I'd say it's not a bad effort. It's a very competitive field. So yeah, to be in the top 4 or 5 is no mean feat with this title. So yeah, congratulations on a podium and an overall successful season.
Thank you.
Right, so we've snuck in the league owner as well, just to say a few words to the boys, and yeah. So Aaron, over to you.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, I won't go too in depth with it all. Like usual, I'll try and limit myself as much as I can. But no, first of all, before we even get to any drivers, thank you to you two boys for doing the commentary all season. Again, doesn't get said enough, but you've done an amazing job, so thank you very much. In terms of the season, obviously we restricted things down last season to kind of make it a bit more competitive, and that's exactly what's happened. So it's nice, as much as we love Dutch and Zach and everybody else, it was nice to see other people up towards the top of the championship. And yeah, I mean, coming into the final race of the season, the fact it was between Danny and Bran, I couldn't have been more delighted if I tried. I've got a huge amount of respect for both these people. Obviously, Danny's been in FTRL for, God, probably longer than most of the admins, to be honest. So, although his internet is literally the worst I've ever seen, he's still managed to come away with a championship title. So, genuinely over the moon for Danny. Everyone knows that him and I get on extremely well. So, yeah, honestly, really, really chuffed for him, and I couldn't have thought of a better person to win the championship than Danny. So, well done, mate.
Oh, thanks, man.
So, yeah, and then obviously commiserations to Bran as well. Bran is somebody else that I got a huge amount of admiration for, and we're really gutted that he's not going to be able to race next season. But just obviously just down to the day change and whatnot as well. So, but no, credit to people again like Nexus Aspect, who had a really good season, a couple of good wins as well. I know we had a little bit of a clash tonight, but one of those things. But congratulations to him as well. He's done a really, really good job. City Posh Blue as well. I think they're both the championship contenders. They're really good teammates. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how next season unfolds. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of changes, but overall, I won't keep it any longer than that. But thank you to the boys who did the commentary. Thank you to every single person that drove this season, and well done to Danny, and commiserations to Brian. I think it's about equal. It was deserved equally. Obviously, only one of them could win it. So yeah, that's what I'll say on the season.
Indeed, thank you very much. So that brings season 12 to a close of Div 1, but that is not the end of the F1 action for this week. We do have the Div 2 finale tomorrow night. The championships has already been decided in favour of Ross, so both our champions for F1 season 12 are now decided, but still glory to be had for the guys in Div 2. So myself and Si will be doing our best to finish the season on a high. How do you feel about Monza tomorrow, Si?
Oh, I can't wait to bin it at Ascari.
Not if I get there first. Well, hopefully I get a little bit further than I got last time. Last time we were here was season 10, and I came out of the first chicane battling a FTRL oven. I got squeezed into the gravel, and then Michael wiped me out and put me into the wall. So hopefully my race will go a little bit better than that one, and I'll at least make it to Ascari, but we shall see. So thank you very much for joining us tonight and all season. We will see you tomorrow for Div 2 to round off season 12. But thank you very much for joining us tonight, and good night.